Hello, this is about narcissists and how they will stop at nothing in their manipulative ways, even using their own children. Here are some examples of how my ex-narcissist has used my children and the ways I've counteracted them. What the narcissist uses as the golden child. He was born a sensitive soul, picks up on people's emotions with ease, eager to please. What I've noticed over the years is he wasn't really like my other children. My other children are all individuals and unique to themselves, but one thing they had in common was a big beaming smile. It was easy to snap a photo of a happy face. You could never truly get a smiley photo from the sensitive child. His eyes always looked a bit sad, and it always looked like he got the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I just assumed this was because he was sensitive. The scapegoat child is stubborn and independent. Spending 2 years researching narcissism and thinking yes they are to then self-doubt to yes they are, it took one event for me to truly realise that they are. So that was the day my 5-year-old just burst into tears out of nowhere and told me he wanted to die. First thing I did was call his other parent for support because I was upset too. Just to get told, you're crazy, you've caused this, you're ruining the boy's life, to which I hung up. Still trying to co-parent, I messaged to inform that we need to get our son some help, which all I got was, I'll evaluate him next time I see him. Then I got a message to say, if you carry on with these games, you're further damaging my child. He doesn't need outside help. If you continue, I'm calling social services. So I thought long and hard about our son and his sensitive in nature, but yet his anxiety, unwillingness to get dressed, wanting to sleep in, not wanting to leave the house, the weight of the world on his shoulders and so many more over the years. And most importantly, the lack of his smile reminded me of someone, the narcissist's eldest child, which then I got thinking of how they were with that eldest child. And I started looking into how narcissist parents affect children. And then for the first time, I actually realised, yes, they are. His anxiety and depression at 5 was due to his nurture. If he wasn't visiting his other parent, he was FaceTiming him. So he never got space away for his own mind to think clearly. That's when I got on the phone and contacted the health visitor, doctors, child psychologists. He was 5 and I had to take action. A 5-year-old should not be anxious or depressed. I still gave the narcissist a chance. People with empathy like to give chances to get threatened in front of the boys. He dropped the boys off and told me, if you carry on with these silly games, I'll make you disappear. Well, no, sorry, but getting my son help is not silly. So I responded with a restraining order, limited contact for the boys, everything to do with the boys via messages, no responses from me to the ex. Within weeks of getting our child help, the school, friends and family noticed the shy, quiet, reserved boy turned into a confident, happy, smiling child. He was even putting his own shoes on and running excitedly to leave the house, something that he'd never done before. He's still sensitive, but that is the nature of his soul. So here are some of the manipulative things the narcissist had tried since, how I've managed to counteract and hopefully teach the children some valuable life lessons. One thing I will add is, I know some have bigger safeguarding issues so the children cannot see the parent. I am on constant watch, and if the situation starts to worsen, if my child stops improving and starts going backwards, I will reevaluate the situation. I started off by telling the narcissist that we needed to set up a routine of set days. Yes, I always explain myself once and once only. There's no point in going further because they just twist it round. I asked what day suited them and they let me know. It suited the boys and it suited me, so I said yes. Within 2 weeks of the day being arranged, they said it was no longer suitable. Now the boys have been dropped plenty of times in the past at the last minute, or I've swapped days for them to be a no-show. So I stuck firm and said, no, that is your day. You chose it. If you want to see them, pick them up. If you don't, don't. I didn't send any more or any less, but I got a barrage of abuse from, you're damaging the children by keeping us apart for your weird games. You're jealous and using the children. I'm calling mediation. Well, I wasn't keeping them apart. If they wanted to pick them up, they could. If they didn't, that's not my problem. they slowly started bringing them home later and later and later on the one school night that they do see them. For now, that is not affecting the boys, so I'm simply not responding. If needed to, and it does affect them, I'll simply just stop them from seeing them on a school night. The haircut one. Now, I know this grates an awful lot of people, and that's absolutely fine. You're not alone in this. It's your child and your child's hair. Do not let the narcissist know it's bothered you. That's exactly why they did it. It's not something that really bothers me, but I tell myself it's hair, it grows back. Like I say, if it bothers you, you're not alone in that. Just remember it does grow back. What did bother me was when my son came home with a fresh new haircut. Not really to my taste, but it's okay. So I just said, wow, you look cool, because that's something nice for the child to hear. Then at bedtime, my son looked at me and said, do you really like my hair? Because my parents said you wouldn't like it. I just responded with, actually, yes, I do. But even if I didn't, it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter who does or who doesn't like it. All that counts is that you like it. It's your hair on your head. So you can listen to others' opinions, respect their opinions. For them, they are theirs. But as it's your hair, the only opinion that matters is your own. They then came back with, the parents said that you'd be mad that their new partner had cut it. I did fall quite luckily with this one, as I used to be a hairdresser, so I rolled with, I used to be a hairdresser. The reason I'm no longer is I didn't enjoy it. So I found a job I did enjoy for me. If they want to cut your hair and they don't mind cutting your hair, it's helped me out. They're doing me a favour. Just remember to take on board other people's opinions and views and beliefs. But if you don't agree or like or want to do something that doesn't match your own, then don't. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. My son then went on YouTube to actually Google liars and find out how you can tell if people are lying to them. So I tried to explain that go with your inner instinct, because the sooner they can learn about that gut instinct, the better. Also, he knows if he lies, he's in trouble. And if he tells the truth, no matter what's happened, we'll find a way of working it out and solving the issue and ways of not repeating it. I did this with all my children. That doesn't mean they do not lie. Let's face it, all children lie. That fear of being caught or getting into trouble. You walk into the kitchen one morning to find that milk's everywhere and one plastic cup. There is only you and one other person in the house, so you know it wasn't you. So it just looks like your child was going to get drink. Yes, we all have those parenting moments when we've just cleaned up and really cannot be bothered, or we're in a rush to leave the house. It's okay if you lose it sometimes, parents do. Just explain why you were annoyed and when you have calmed down. More often than not, you may call your child to come into the kitchen and they have natural fear of being in trouble. So if you ask them straight, they might stand there and lie in front of you, even though you know it was them, and go, no, it wasn't me. Just explain how you know it was them, and with the truth, there's no trouble. With a lie, there will be consequences. With the truth, we can work it out together and we can help clean it up together. Children will lie. It's to protect themselves from getting into trouble. It's a bit like us if we go in a hot oven or near a hot iron and your hand gets too close and you pull it away so you don't get burnt. Yet we still manage from time to time to burn ourselves on the oven. Children will still lie from time to time. Another one, this time because the narcissist doesn't like the routine, because it's not about them. My son came home and said, my parents told me it's your fault I can't see them. So I explained, you do see them. Everyone's allowed their own opinion, but it's about routine so that we all know exactly where we are and when. I get the impression the narcissist didn't like that I didn't message or respond to them, so the next week they dropped the child off, and in front of the child they said, I've told them I'm free tomorrow if they want to see me, something I've asked them not to do. So I said okay and closed the door. Well, we had no plans. We woke up the next morning, my son said he wanted to go, so I said, well, we've got no plans today, it's okay to mix up a routine now again, so I'll message and see. To get a response back saying, no, I can't do today. Well, that riled me, but I did not respond. I spoke to my son, who was absolutely heartbroken and blamed me that I'd not asked. So I sat and read the messages with him, which was awful. And at the end, he did thank me and give me a big hug and said it was okay, which is just truly heartbreaking. A 5-year-old shouldn't have to do that. It's draining without knowing what stunt they're going to pull next to hurt you and hurt your children. The next was the parent says it's all your fault they cannot live here, even though the parent's already living with someone else and has another child. I know exactly what I'd like to say, but then I'm as bad as the other parent. So my son can make his own mind up when he's old enough. He's already got one parent ramming lies and unnecessary information down him. So I just said, if that's what the other parent thinks, that's fine. I think differently. You can think of it and see it how you see it. When two people don't get on or hurt each other, it's better they're apart and find someone who brings the best out of them and makes them happy. And everyone's entitled to look at it in their own way. The music one. My son came home saying parent wants us to listen to a song. I like music and we do have a dance around, so yes, fair enough. My son pops on All of the Lights by Kanye West. I'll let you Google the lyrics. It describes the other parent's life quite well. Worse still, my son knew the words off by heart. So I said, you're very clever for learning those words so fast, giving him praise. But do you actually like the song? He said, no, we've just listened to it all day. Again, I explained to my son about opinions, your likes, your dislikes. You don't have to agree, you don't have to disagree, but you are allowed your own freedom of choice. The younger child, the scapegoat, did get dropped off earlier a lot of the time. Not as much now, they've moved in with someone new. But his big brother now often comes home calling him a mardy bum and grumpy. So I have to explain that they're allowed to feel grumpy, but you look out for each other and leave each other alone if they are grumpy. You're not mean to each other. You need to be nice to each other. Now, siblings can be mean to each other, but when they've got a narcissist parent, you need to really try and instill that sibling friendship. Yes, I know it's hard. There are so many other phrases you may hear, from you're crazy to you're keeping the children from me, you're being selfish, you're not putting the children first, I'm not dancing to your tune, I'm not regimented like you. Please add in the comments phrases you've heard for others to know, because there is so many more. Stick with what's best for you and your child. They will only put the children first if it's of benefit to them. So in reality, they only put themselves first. If it suits you and your children, don't say no for the sake of it, but if it doesn't suit, say no. Set up a routine. It's okay to say no if it's not within your boundaries for your children or yourself. Don't listen to the narcissist's twisted words. Do not respond to the narcissist when they're pulling something. Put that time and energy into teaching the children. If possible, teach the children to respect and understand that everyone's allowed an opinion, but to know and understand within themselves if it feels wrong in any way, they don't have to take it on board. Do not slate the ex. They've got enough of this from the ex. They need to know they've got one reliable parent. They may come home all wild. That's good. It shows that because they've been on best behaviour around the narcissist and conforming, they feel safe and secure with you to let it all out. So let them let it all out. Keep as much as possible in writing about stuff that's been said. Keep communication between you and the narcissist via message or email. So if it ends up in court or mediation, you have everything. I have a video about facing them in court if you're already at that point. Remember, it is a tough job being a parent. It's even tougher when their other parents are narcissists. You're doing your best. You're doing amazing. Keep going. You will get through it, and your children will too. You are allowed mistakes. We all make them. The key is, whatever the situation with your child, talk, and match that talk with actions. Age appropriate, with respect to the questions or the things they say to you. There is no wrong or right way. There is only your way. You know your child best. Find what works for you and your child. Another key thing to remember is your children will grow to learn what toxic people are and who they don't want in their lives for themselves. Thank you for listening. Bye.